Hello and welcome, everyone, to yet another episode of the Let's Talk About It podcast. We're on episode 20?
I believe so.
The big 2-0. Next episode, the podcast will be legally old enough to, drink? Is it?
Yes, sir. To drink and play and gamble. Okay.
Yeah, so what you're saying is that we should record our next podcast from Casino del Sol.
Assuming they are open by then, yeah.
I mean, we can always just sneak in if they're not, open yet. I mean, who's gonna stop us? Security? That's not even there.
Just start coughing, they'll back up.
I have COVID-19. That would be actually terrible.
They tase you.
Is that yeah. Is that considered illegal? Is that considered a bioweapon under the Geneva Convention?
You actually can be arrested for falsely claiming that.
Can be.
It's happened where, I want to say some lady said she had COVID-19 and was coughing on everyone, and they arrested her for it.
Okay, we need to rethink our plans here. But anyway, exciting stuff. We got Jason back here with us today. Hi, Jason.
Ew.
He was supposed to be with us last week, but me and Pedro forgot to let him know.
We forgot to invite him.
I feel so special.
That was completely our bad, though. We just you're here now. That's what's important. But yeah, we got some good juicy news as always for the podcast today. We got upcoming AMD rumors and confirmed rumors for kind of new CPUs refreshes. We got some confirmed details about the Google Pixel 4a yet again, because it seems like every day we find out something new about that damn phone. We got some gaming news here, some leaks to talk about in the gaming industry, as well as some classic old YouTube drama that Jason's going to be filling us in with. But without further ado, let's hop right into the podcast with, as always, the tech section. So the first story for today's tech section is that the FBI cannot look at your phone lock screen without a warrant in the U.S. So really interesting ruling that was decided there. As per a court ruling in the United States, law enforcement agencies require a warrant to even look at your phone screen.
Wow.
So they can't even turn it on. Yeah, so this is due to the Fourth Amendment of the U.S. Constitution, which gives people the right to be secure in, quote-unquote, their persons, houses, papers, and effects, unquote, and prohibits unreasonable searches without warrants issued by a judge or magistrate backed by probable cause. So, in this article in Ars Technica, they go to explain that usually when the topic of a phone search comes up in court, the question has to do with unlocking. Generally, courts have held that law enforcement can compel you to use your body, such as your fingerprint or your face, to unlock a phone, but they cannot compel you to share knowledge, such as a PIN, which was a really hot topic when fingerprint scanning and facial recognition unlocking was just coming to light a couple years ago as a common phone, unlocking method. But to unlock a phone, but they cannot to continue the Ars Technica article, in this recent case, however, the FBI did not unlock the phone. Instead, they only looked at the phone's lock screen for evidence. And this is talking in reference to a case that was under focus for this in court. A man, Joseph Sam, who was arrested based on charges of robbery and assault in May 2019. When he was arrested, one of the officers pressed the power button on his Motorola phone to bring up the lock screen. Then later in February 2020, which is fairly recently, the FBI also turned on the same phone and took a photo of the suspect's lock screen. So, because that recently happened, that has stirred this new ruling here in the United States of America. Joseph Sam's lawyer filed a motion in court, actually, that the evidence obtained by the FBI should not be valid as it was without a warrant. And District Judge John Koffner, I'm pretty sure that's how it's pronounced, because it's spelled like cough, like actual cough, and then N-E-R, or N-O-U-R, so. Yeah, Koffner. Must be German or something. But this district judge ruled that the FBI's usage of the phone as evidence was unconstitutional, as it qualifies as a search without a warrant. However, he noted that police are allowed to search without a warrant under special circumstances. However, more clarify was sought to understand if the police broke the law. And so the final ruling was that when the government gains evidence by physically intruding on a constitutionally protected area, as the FBI did here, it is unnecessary to consider whether the government also violated the defendant's reasonable expectation of privacy. So, because of that specific case there, we are now more clear as to how our privacy is invaded or protected by the government and its laws. So, I know, like I mentioned earlier, that the fingerprint unlock was definitely, tied to scrutiny, because law enforcement could force you to use your fingerprint to unlock your phone. But now it looks like it's even gotten better for us as private citizens, right? And our right to privacy. So that's really cool there. The next story, as always, the weekly AMD story from me, yours truly, your local AMD fanboy. But this is actually really strange news, I feel. And keep in mind, this is hot off the heels of Intel's 10th gen Core i5, Core i7, and Core i9 chips coming out recently to some really, really good reviews. So how does AMD respond? They respond with this. AMD has confirmed that they're going to be releasing refreshes of a couple of their Ryzen chips. They're going to be refreshing the Ryzen 9 3900, the Ryzen 7 3800, and the Ryzen 5 3600 chips with boosted XT models. So they're just adding XT to the name of those chips and re-releasing them. They're all going to have the same core count and thread count configurations, but they're going to have higher clocks, and that also means that they're going to be cutting prices on current Ryzen chips, which is cool, because I think they're going to even cut them even lower when 4th gen, when the Ryzen 4000 series comes out later this year at the end, supposedly, right? Anyway, the specs on these chips, as I mentioned, there's going to be the Ryzen 9 3900 XT, Ryzen 7 3800 XT, and the Ryzen 5 3600 XT. All are going to be 12 core, 8 core, and 6 core chips respectively. But as far as pricing goes for these newer chips, they're going to, that's not really, really clear. However, we are expecting about a $20 drop in current Ryzen 5 3600X chips, a almost $70 drop for the Ryzen 7 3800X chips, and almost and actually just a $70 drop in the Ryzen 9 3900X chips currently. So that's going to be some big savings there for Ryzen 9, Ryzen 7, and Ryzen 5 current gen chips until these boosted ones come out. And like I said, this is all in the context of Intel, releasing their 10th gen chips right now, which were positively reviewed, but are currently on competition with those with the current gen chips. So these new refreshes coming out, they're going to have higher boost clocks, ranging from like 100 to 300 megahertz on the boost and base clocks. It's going to even crowd the market even more for these Intel 10th gen chips to really, survive in the current market, which is good, because that's that's healthy competition. This is what we were wanting so long to happen, when AMD was like not even part of the CPU market, where Intel was just dominating for so long and became stagnant because of it. So yeah, this is interesting, like I said, because the new chips are going to be coming out reportedly at the end of the year, along with AMD's new GPUs. So do I feel like this is kind of unnecessary and silly? Yeah, I don't think we should be getting refreshed current gen chips if the newer gen chips are right around the corner. But that's just my opinion, and I don't have access to market information that AMD does. So hopefully they're successful in that. But also in AMD related news, a bunch of AMD B550 boards were announced this week from, of course, motherboard vendors. So that includes MSI, Gigabyte, Asus, BioStar, and I think I'm missing one more, but it doesn't come to mind currently, so we're just going to have to leave it be. But these boards look super impressive. A lot of them are actually modeled after their X570 older or younger siblings, however you want to put it, the higher end boards. Of course, I was strictly interested in the ITX boards, so I looked at that, and we're getting a new Phantom gaming board from ASRock. We're getting a new, of course, Strix ITX board from Asus, and I want to say there's a third one from Gigabyte. Yeah, from Gigabyte that we're also getting. The one that I'm probably gonna get is gonna be the Asus one, just because it looks the cleanest. It's like all black, surprisingly. It's got some ROG, RGB in there, although I'm not really gonna use it in my current build. It's gonna be like an all dark build. I already have it planned out. It's gonna be awesome. But anyway, it also is, like I said earlier, it's highly based off of the X570 board, which is really good. And all these B550 boards look awesome, but we don't have pricing on them yet, which is my big concern, because I do not want to spend $250 plus on a B550 ITX board, because if that's the case, then I'm just going to buy an X570 ITX board and call it a day. So we're expecting them to be good value propositions per se, because I really want them to be. But that's just me. That's just me. Anyway, next item in the news is SSD news. Actually, Sabrent, which is a manufacturer of SSDs, launched the Sabrent Rocket Q NVMe SSD lineup, which actually has the world's first 8TB NVMe SSD. So, of course, there's you have SATA SSDs and then you have NVMe SSDs, which is vastly faster as far as read and write speeds go compared to traditional SSDs. And as SSD size grows, your performance from the SSD will become significantly better. So, a 240 gigabyte SSD is going to have slower read and write speeds than a 1TB SSD, and so on and so forth. And that scales pretty well with the size of the SSD. So, fun fact there. But yeah, so imagine an 8TB SSD NVMe, form factor, which is like a stick of gum, basically. That thing's going to be packed with a lot of storage modules on there. As far as pricing goes, Sabrent has not released pricing for these drives, but keep in mind that the current Sabrent Rocket Q NVMe SSD, the 2TB version, is like $320 or something.
I was gonna say 8TB SSD. This thing's at least gonna be, I'm saying, over $1,500 for 8TB.
Yeah, for 8TB, it's nutty for sure. I want it to be cheaper just because I want everything to be cheaper, so that's not fair. But needless to say, I don't think I'll be buying the 8TB NVMe SSD, unfortunately.
Luckily, the good thing about technology is it grows really fast, so it's not going to be that much for very long. I see it definitely being affordable, like 2 to 4 years after it's released.
Yeah, maybe in 5 years the price per gigabyte of NVMe storage is smaller.
Which sounds like a long time, but it's really not, considering how fast everything is growing.
Yeah, no kidding. What was it? Almost 5 years ago, actually it was 2017, right? So 3 years ago, I was buying Ryzen's first generation CPU, and now we're here. We're almost to the 4th gen CPU this year, so in the tech world, that is not a lot of time, but some technology gets cheaper and some technology just gets better for the same price.
And then especially with with the use for these SSDs, obviously a lot of people buy them for gaming, and with all the new games that are coming out where your minimum expected download is 100 gigs, everybody's going to be racing to get the most terabytes.
Yeah.
because obviously it's a big inconvenience for people who have to uninstall and install anytime they want to play a new game. Like, just off the top of my head, let's see, Warzone 100 gigs, Red Dead 100 gigs, like, that's the space required for some of these games now is ridiculous, so we're definitely going to see it grow super fast.
With all of its updates, I'm almost certain GTA 5's well past 100.
Oh, for sure. I want to say when I downloaded it free from Epic, it was...
It's like 130, 140.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I had to order a 512 gigabyte SSD for my laptop so I could install and play GTA 5.
So you get 5 new games?
Yeah. Precisely, actually. But yeah, so good stuff happening in the even in these tough times, good advancements being made in storage technology, which we love to see. 2 more short little stories here for us in the tech sector. We have an announcement here. Razer has announced its new Razer Blade Pro 17-inch model with some pretty impressive specs. They updated this larger size of the Razer Blade Pro with a full HD 300 hertz refresh rate display and a 2080 Super inside of this laptop. So that's better than most people's gaming setups that I know of. That's full desktop, like full on whatever, right? It's definitely better than mine. I'll tell you that right now. But
those fans are gonna be working overtime, man.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's gonna be one hot laptop, to say the least. I mean, mine's already, sounds like it's taking off from an airport. Especially when I press the turbo button. Maybe next podcast I'll whip it out, press the turbo button, and then let the mic capture what that sounds like. It sounds like an airplane. I'm not even joking. That's without exaggeration. But back to the Razer Blade 17. You can also equip it with a 4K 120 hertz touch display. That's more like for the creative professionals who need that resolution, who need that color accuracy in order for them to do their editing or whatnot. As far as the processor in there, it comes with the new Intel Core i7-10875H, and it is capable of a 5.1 gigahertz Intel Turbo Boost. So that's a lot of CPU in that laptop there. Of course, there's lots of other things here about the laptop. It offers better cooling, and it has Thunderbolt 3 ports. It has a 20-volt USB-C charger, as well as an integrated HD webcam, which is better than previous webcams. And it is also capable of Windows Hello recognition for facial unlocking automatically. Now, to keep in mind, the base model of this laptop is $2,600, and that's not including the 300 hertz display and the 2080 Super inside of there. So I imagine that model is probably somewhere around $4,000, $4,500, I'd say, in traditional Razer Blade fashion. But I have not looked at the build, the build configurator to see how much a max one out one is, because I'm never gonna buy it. So there's that. If you want to buy it, go check out Razer's website for it. But one more story here from the tech sector. And it's actually regarding something that's not too nerdy or too techy. I'm trying to integrate more of those stories here. But anyway, this story is about students specifically, and students that failed advanced placement or AP tests because the website where they took the test could not handle the HEIC images that iPhones take when they take pictures. So let's set the stage here. So advanced placement tests are taken online, right? And some and some had to be taken from phones. And part of those tests require you to submit images or upload certain pictures that are relevant to to the test or whatnot to the website to submit them for the test. So the issue comes in to all the students who have iPhones, because if you have an iPhone and you take a picture, the file format of that picture that's stored on your device and uploaded to the cloud through iCloud, the format is HEIC, which is like some weird, non-standard, file format that typically tends to be, JPEGs or JPGs or PNG file formats that literally everyone else uses. So what happened here is that for those questions or for those sections of the advanced placement test that these students had to upload photos for, the ones that had iPhones would take a picture of what they needed to take a picture of and upload it in that unsupported format, because the College Board website specifically says that they only accept JPEGs or PNG files. So these students, they upload these photos in the wrong format. Of course, the College Board website can't read those images or can't open those images because it's in the wrong format, and the students lose all the points for that section for not submitting the photo. So that was something that stirred quite a bit of controversy, and of course, a lot of students and a lot of people started petitions to allow, to ask the College Board to allow those students to retake the test just based off of that premise. College Board, recently, to kind of calm the storm a little bit, they went to Twitter, of all places, and posted on Twitter a guide on how to submit photos from your iPhone in the correct format and how to resave the image files in the correct format. But apparently that wasn't enough. The petitions went around, and it actually worked because the College Board is actually letting these students retake the test. Because a lot of students failed their tests based off of just that one thing that they missed for uploading the photos for the test. So it was like a significant amount. To kind of give you an idea, the petition alone asking college boards to allow students to retake the test had more than 25,000 signatures as of yesterday. So definitely a lot of people behind the cause, and I think it's really BS that they would penalize the students for not knowing how to submit a correct file format. And it's just ridiculous, because I took AP tests, I studied for AP tests. Those tests are hard. Okay, it takes a lot of work to not only just to be ready for the test, but actually take it. It's so nerve-wracking. And these students have studied so hard to do well on their advanced placement tests. Imagine failing it because your effing camera didn't take it in the right format, and then the College Board didn't accept it and just marked it as wrong. I'd be livid, dude. I'd be like, you gotta be effing kidding me. Like, I put so much work into knowing this test, and I failed because I didn't know I was supposed to submit a picture in the right format? Like, that's completely unrelated to the test that I'm taking right now, unless it's a freaking tech course, and I doubt College Board does that, if anything. So just wild there. So it's good to see that College Board is allowing these people to retake this test, and hopefully they do a better job of educating their students on what they should do beforehand, because this story kind of angered me a little bit, just for the reasons I just explained. But maybe College Board should accept file formats of pictures taken on the most popular mobile platform if they're going to allow their students to take it that way. That's just my take. But without further ado, that's all the tech stories I have today. One of you fine gentlemen are now taking the microphone from me because I've yammered enough.
All right, sir. Would you like to go, Jason, or do you want me to go?
I can get mine out of the way just because it's kind of a quick one. I wanted to see your guys' thoughts on as well. So for anybody that is not aware, H3H3 released a content nuke video similar to Content Cop video that iDubbbz did previously on Keemstar. And it just went over a lot of information that admittedly is old information, but it's just been kind of brought back up again. And it's led to this whole thing now where H3H3 went after one of Keemstar's sponsors. Keemstar.
You're lagging out a bit, sir.
One of his.
Oh,
Jason. I think
Is
we've.
it good now?
Talk.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're good now.
Okay, sorry about that. So, what it led up to now then is Keemstar lost a major sponsor of his. He's sponsored by G Fuel, and he's always got a tub of it sitting on his desk. It's just a major part of him. And that was one of the points that Ethan Klein made about it, and it basically they caught so much flack for it that the partnership between them was dissolved. Now, it kind of got to the point where a bunch of other people got together and got Old Spice, which is also a major sponsor of H3H3 Productions, and Old Spice drops them. So now it's just kind of turning into like this sponsor war that what a lot of people are worried about is this bigger thing where now people are just going to see that you can do that and how quick and easy it is to do, and it's essentially another apocalypse that's being brought onto YouTube.
That's pretty wild.
Have you followed any of it?
I haven't followed it from the beginning. However, yesterday I did watch the nuclear fallout video that H3H3 released. So it's like the response video on Keemstar's response video to H3's original content nuke video. So
you're right, and now a lot of people in the YouTube community are banding together on different sides of it, and that's not even just H3 or Keemstar. Now you've got people that are on the side of, well, you know what, H3's right, but what he did is wrong. You've got people saying that Keemstar is right, and what's done is done, so it shouldn't matter. You've got other people saying that since when does it matter if you go after somebody's sponsors? Like, it's causing this huge divide in the community right now.
Yeah, and I feel, and I've definitely seen that too. Whether you're on Keemstar's side or Ethan's side of the debate, I don't know, man. I just hate that they're fighting this way, and that they're. I mean, keep in mind I've only seen Ethan's side of it in his perspectives in his recent video where he's responding to Keemstar's response to his original video. Okay, so that's my context here. I just think a lot of it's childish, and I think a lot of it's like really, really like intense for it, being men, just kind of going at each other, kind of defaming each other over the internet. And I definitely see Ethan's point from his nuclear fallout video. But what do I think? I don't know. I feel like if you're Keemstar, which you literally make a living off of defaming people every day, like,
right,
then you shouldn't be shocked that you're being targeted. As bad as it is, or as bad as it seems, like I watch Keemstar's videos, and every time I watch them, I'm just like, this guy's just clowning on people, and he does it on a daily basis. And like, it would be a different story if he was a reporter, right? And he does report on stories, but he always throws his twist on there, and he always puts his his own bias as part of the story, and that's where he messes up, because he takes sides. He throws his own narrative on there, and when you make a living off of bashing on people and throwing your opinion on there, it's gonna be criticized. Unless you're completely just stating facts, that's bound to happen. That should not be a surprise, especially as a public figure on YouTube of all platforms.
Ruben, any thoughts on it?
I mean, I really have not liked Keemstar at all.
Since ever.
Yeah, he just like Pedro said, I mean, when you make like Pedro said, when you make your fame off of defaming other people, it's karma, especially when, like he said, it's not always 100% factual. He does throw his own 2 cents in there, like obviously the most famous one I can think of is when he was talking about RS Golden Glory, I believe. Let me make sure. But basically RS Golden Glory, he was like he's a RuneScape streamer, and he's like a 68-year-old man, and I want to say Keemstar basically accused him of being a sexual predator with like no proof whatsoever, and got his entire community onto that dude's Twitch to like bash him and call him names, and like they ended up making this old man who was just like trying to have fun, they ended up making him like cry and like be really down on himself. I mean, he did apologize later afterwards after everything's done, but like I don't have any respect for anyone who like can just make those kind of accusations and have your whole community bash on someone based off of no proof whatsoever.
See, and what's interesting about that is when Ethan brought it up in, I believe it was the Content Nuke video, and he brought that same old story back up. The following day, RS Golden Glory posted a video to YouTube as well telling Ethan thank you because it's actually helped him recently and he's had a better experience just since the video went up. So the entire time thanking H3H3 Productions, but still not even pointing the finger back or saying, oh, all of this that Keemstar caused. Like, it seemed like he was just kind of more done and ready to move on. But every time it comes up, like, it seems like Keemstar just kind of gets upset and, like, that's not my problem anymore. That's not my fault, you know?
Yeah.
What are your guys' thoughts on the whole going after sponsors? Personally, I am on the side of... I'd say I'm on the side of, since, like, it's not really a rule. Like, if you're going to play dirty, like, expect somebody else to play dirty. But I wouldn't say that there's anything necessarily wrong with it if you're expecting it in return. Don't be surprised when it happens to you.
I mean, ultimately, when it comes down to the sponsor thing, I don't totally consider it playing dirty because as a sponsor, it is that company's responsibility to look into people they're sponsoring and make their own judgment based off that.
Right.
And if they want to believe what other people are saying and don't do their own research, then, you know, that's on the sponsor. I do think that it's kind of funny just because I personally haven't heard of, like, streamers or YouTube people going after other people's, like, sponsors and getting them, like, these sponsors. So I think that's kind of funny to me.
That's why it's such a big deal right now. Those are, like, a lot of people critical talked about it. If you guys follow some more new gamers, Mudahar talked about it. Review Tech USA's talked about it. The Quarterings talked about it. A lot of, like, fairly larger YouTubers that I at least follow have all talked about it, and, like, a lot of them seem to be in these different camps. It's weird to see and to hear different sides of. But I mean, yeah, I mean, you're like, I agree with you. I wouldn't necessarily say it's playing dirty, but.
And I would think that if companies are big enough to have to do sponsorship programs, I would think that they would be responsible enough to have a set team for particularly just the sponsorships who can do reviews on these cases instead of just totally unsponsoring them immediately.
Yeah.
So I mean that kind of falls on the sponsor as well, in my opinion.
Yeah, Pedro here with my hot take on this whole thing. I personally feel that going, that as a YouTube celebrity, right? I feel that it's a little scummy to call upon your audience to bully someone off of someone's sponsorship platform, only because I feel like that's an abuse of power, first of all. And second of all, we have to realize that sponsorships are pure marketing ploys, right? A company hires a sponsor, in this case like Keemstar, a famous celebrity, to market for them, right? They vouch for the product that the company wants to sponsor someone with, and that's free advertisement, that's good business relations, that's how they sell their product. It's all marketing, purely marketing. So if someone like Keemstar does something scummy, right, then the company, the sponsor, has to take into consideration the brand image that they are presenting by having their product marketed by this celebrity. So, in cases like this, I think it's, the second thing that I think is scummy about, sending your audience after someone to de-sponsor them is that you just have to let the market take its course on that. if people really have a problem with Keemstar, being the face or an image in place of, companies like G Fuel, then the market's going to speak. People are going to say, hey, I'm not going to buy G Fuel anymore because Keemstar is a D-bag, right? And so that's, people voting with their money, not buying G Fuel because it's, associated with Keemstar. That's what makes lasting changes. And that's what creates a real impact on sponsorships or not necessarily, telling your people, hey, this person's scummy, they're sponsored by this, this company. Convince the company, go forth, my minions, go convince the company to drop the sponsorship because that's going to hurt the sponsoree, so to speak. So yeah. That's just the way I think of it, right? I mean, I could be wrong, but just from a natural, business perspective, that's how I feel like things should go, and naturally will go if these dramas, these back and forths, have any weight to them.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's good to hear your guys' opinions, but yeah, that was what I wanted to get out of the way. Ruben, do you have anything else or any last thoughts on the matter?
I think I'm good on that, sir.
I'm actually going to check how much the Keemstar limited edition G Fuel thing is going for eBay right now. My guess is expensive.
Let's see here.
As that, then I'm going to hand it off to Ruben for any stories you may have. Actually, one more interesting little tidbit that came to mind. I don't know why I just remembered this, but PewDiePie's wife Marcia posted a picture of him without a shirt, and PewDiePie is ripped as fuck. Go look at it.
Wait, that's not photoshopped? I saw that picture.
Yeah, I accidentally stumbled across that. They memed it already.
Dang.
But yeah, that's all I got. I'm handing it over to Ruben.
There goes the rest of my self-esteem. Take the mic, Ruben.
Did you find the G Fuel, sir, or no?
Yeah, I did. So fun fact. So on eBay right now, the G Fuel cotton candy tub, which is the Keemstar edition of G Fuel, I believe it's going for, let's see, one tub of it is currently going for $65.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, which is a 40 serving tub of G Fuel. So to put that in perspective, good pre-workouts are like $25 for the same amount of servings. This thing's going for almost $70 on eBay.
Jeez. Alright, well then I will get right into the gaming news. First off, we got one that I'm super excited about, just for reliving old time's sake. Microsoft's original Xbox console source code leaked online. The source code includes the kernel for the operating system on the original console, a custom version of Windows 2000, and the Xbox operating system leak is genuine, and it is a code that has been sought after for a long time, because obviously when it comes to emulators, Xbox has been one of the worst emulated systems.
Yep.
And the hardest to replicate. I want to say when you do get a working Xbox emulator, you got maybe 20 games to choose from out of the whole library.
Ooh.
Because it's just so difficult. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of people excited about this just for the simple fact of emulators. Whether or not that's all allowed, or if Microsoft is going to try and crack down hard on this and hide everything they can, is yet to be determined.
I hope not.
If it's leaked, it's out there. There's no stopping. There's no hiding nothing no more.
I mean, Microsoft's got a lot of money. They can keep throwing it at it to keep it hidden. I don't see why they would, because it doesn't seem like they like to acknowledge the original Xbox as much as the 360. When you think of Xbox, no one really talks about the OG Xbox. They always start with 360, which is odd to me, because the original Xbox was just so great in my eyes.
Yeah. Well, if anything, Microsoft can pull a Nintendo and just issue DMCA takedowns for anything that's hosting anything remotely close to the source code information, or anything that offers a download of the emulator with the source code, in there. I mean, Microsoft they'll find a way to screw it up for everyone.
Indeed,
Build
sir.
your own copy of the source code and distribute through Discord.
I straight up
your own code.
I ripped this code straight from the kernel of my own OG Xbox. You can't do anything.
It's just useful for storage here. If people get a hold of it, I can't help it.
Next up, one for all the Amazon Prime members out there. Of course, with Amazon Prime, you get Twitch Prime, and this month they are going to be giving away more than 20 free SNK games. Such as Art of Fighting 2, Fatal Fury Special, King of Fighters 2000, King of Fighters 2002, Samurai Showdown 2. There's going to be obviously a lot more than that. I'm super excited because I recently just got Twitch Prime, so I'm like super stoked because this is going to be one of the first ones that I'm actually going to be able to claim.
Yeah, the first grab bag.
I'm extremely excited now because I had no idea, and SNK makes like all of my favorite fighting games. The King of Fighters is my favorite arcade fighting games.
Yeah, dude, SNK had a lot of bangers, so I'm super stoked for this.
You know what game is really fun that I played only once and I wish I played more of it? Capcom versus SNK 2.
Dude, that's what I'm hoping that is on there, like, just as a surprise throw-in.
Yeah, that's because that's a Wii title, and Wii's have been emulated.
I don't see why, I don't see why, with that being one of the bigger ones, why it wouldn't be on this list of announced ones, but, I mean, hopefully we get a nice surprise like that.
Yeah, also Zero's really strong in that game.
Next up, Take-Two has 93 games planned for the next 5 years.
It's a lot.
But no new news on the next GTA. Take-Two Interactive, best known for GTA and Red Dead Redemption games, is looking to broaden their horizons considerably. President Carl Slatoff said during earnings that the publisher has 93 full game releases planned for the next 5 years. A lineup he described as the strongest in our company's history.
Jeez.
63 of those games will be core gaming experiences, while 17 will be mid-core or arcade, and 13 are casual. 72 of them will be on console, PC, and or streaming platforms like Stadia, while the rest will be exclusively mobile. And 67 will launch as purchase and play, while the remainder will be free to play. This is really big news, and that is a lot of games in 5 years from one company.
Yeah, I didn't realize, and I just got confused trying to do the math in my head.
That's
like
four
or 5 games a month.
Yeah, that's 3 games every 2 months for the next 5 years potentially.
Jeez.
I'm excited.
I am excited. I hope that they are able to keep putting out bangers, because if a lot of these flop, that is a lot of cost.
Yeah.
And
they'll never do it again.
I don't see them flopping considering their history of lineup games. And I would have to imagine that in those 5 years, one of those 93 has got to be GTA.
Has to be. I don't see it being any other way.
Especially because lately there has been so much. GTA 6 has been in the news so much for speculated next settings or rumored next settings. So, I mean, I'm definitely expecting a GTA in the next 5 years. I think it would be dumb not to be.
It's realistic, I feel. I mean, if we have to wait longer than that for the next Elder Scrolls.
What was the gap between 4 and 5?
That is a good question, sir.
Yeah, let's see.
It was actually, I remember it being something stupid long when I actually saw what it was.
Okay, so GTA 4 was released on April 29th, 2008.
Really? 2008?
Yeah, so
I want to
that's an
say
8-year gap.
GTA 5 was 2013, wasn't it?
Was it?
Or was it 2015?
Yeah, 2013.
Oh my
That's
god.
only a 5-year gap. Jeez. So it's already been 3 more years.
Yeah, so, I mean,
Jeez.
I definitely don't doubt.
At the same time, there has not been a GTA before 5 that they're able to keep updating in the way that they have.
Also, I mean, they did have a really big game after GTA 5, of course, with Red Dead 2.
So it's possible they might be out for a while still, but I mean, I don't know. I don't think it'd be uneventful. I'm sure they'd have something in regards to the GTA series planned, even if it's not 6.
There's gotta be. I mean, if you're talking about the strongest lineup in your company's history, he's got to have confidence in the games themselves and not just the numbers.
Power and numbers, Ruben. We will win by overwhelming them with sheer numbers.
God, I hope not. I hope they are really good games.
It's gonna be the second fucking video game market crash.
Jesus.
Yeah, to put it in perspective, Red Dead Redemption was released on May of 2010, and then Undead Nightmare for that, which is probably one of the biggest, expansions of a game like that, came out in October of 2010, and then we just had Red Dead Redemption 2 in October of 2018.
And then, just for reference, besides, of course, GTA 5 and Red Dead 2, they also have, Civ 6, Outer Worlds, LA Noire, Ancestors, Max Payne.
Oh boy.
BioShock. So, I mean, they definitely have some really big ones. Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six. Well, and possibly the biggest one of all, Rockstar Games Table Tennis. No.
Yes! Game of the year.
Oh, and Midnight Club. It's been a while since we got a Midnight Club.
I want a new Midnight Club, actually.
I want a new, good Midnight. I want something like Midnight Club 3 Remix again. That is exactly what I want.
Midnight Club Dub Edition Remix.
Yes, that is absolutely my favorite one in the series.
So down.
In terms of... Oh, actually, I do have one more small announcement. Well, big announcement, but shorter end of the spectrum. Valorant finally has a release date.
Yeah.
No longer in beta, starting June 2nd. I am so excited. Super close.
I'll probably be able to try that one with you guys too, actually. Even
that's
with tethering.
That's like in 2 weeks.
It's like 11 days, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. I haven't watched... I have not watched any gameplay, and I'm so excited to play it.
It looks pretty sick. The same way, actually. I have no idea what actually goes on. I just want to play it.
I used to not really care about seeing what's in trailers, and I'm like, oh, I'll still play it. But I don't know. Lately, I've been more of the I don't want to see anything of it because I want to go in blind.
Yeah.
Gaming stories, though, that is all I have. Do we have anything else we want to talk about? Such as, I know we got our hot sauce in, and that stuff is spicy.
Yeah. So actually, I think there is one more gaming story that we should mention. I'm trying to find exactly what it is because I saw it here. Oh yeah, that's more info on Ghost of Tsushima. That we have gotten. So apparently it's a 30 to 50 hour game. That's including side quests, the map's packed with people to get those side quest items and stories. So that's really cool for me to see because ever since we saw that trailer, I really want the game.
I'm really glad you brought that up because I know we were talking about how we wanted to play this game, and I know exactly how I'm going to play this game if I ever get it.
How are you going to do that?
I'm going to play it obviously in English with the full color. I'm gonna do that as my ghost playthrough where I'm sneaking around, but I'm gonna do Japanese with English captions and black and white, and do the full like samurai playthrough where I'm just going in and hack slash and everything.
The honorable playthrough. That sounds dope, dude.
Just because it's so fitting. Like,
yeah, it is. I respect that. But yeah, I'm excited for that. I don't know how I'm gonna end up playing it or what I'm gonna do, but I want to play that game.
Jason, did you watch the Ghost of Tsushima reveal?
No, but based on the sound of like what you were talking about, I say like the way that I would play through it is just kind of like the standard stealth for all of 2 minutes, get caught and then kill everybody, and that's how you stealth your way through.
Dude, this game looks so amazing, and like the customization options, and like I said, like they give you an option before the game even starts to where you can choose English or if you want the whole game in Japanese with English captions. And then they have like a black and white filter where you can play the whole game black and white, and it looks like an old samurai film. Like it's even got like the film grain on it.
That's badass.
It looks so sick.
It looks awesome.
I'm really excited for my Mafia remake in August.
I know when that is it in August? I thought it was. Didn't they release it already?
2 and 3 are released already because they're like graphical upgrade type things. But the original one is being released in August, and that one is because it's a complete rebuild from the ground up.
And as I understand it, as long as you buy the remake, you will get the first one for free when it releases. It'll like come in basically almost like as an update, correct?
I'm not sure about that. What I did read was that if you already owned 2 and 3, then you get the upgrades for free.
Okay.
Which I actually need to log in to check on because I know I own 3. You own 2, don't you?
I own it on Xbox.
That's on the Xbox. That's right.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's my release I'm excited for is Mafia, because I've been recently kind of itching to play through it, but every time I start it, I get about 5 missions in, and I'm just like, because it's horribly dated.
Speaking of dated, we need a new Splinter Cell game.
Yes, I've been saying this. I've been a fan from the very beginning.
I feel like Ubisoft is gonna make some big moves coming up, just because
it's. Just wait. One of these days that like there's gonna be some kind of like weird video or something that looks like some kind of cool announcement, and then you're gonna be like, and then the video is just gonna cut out, and you're just gonna hear the sound of the goggles and see them appear on the screen, and then it's gonna be the actual announcement.
Well, and then I've been hearing a bunch of speculation from different people that not only will we potentially be getting a new Splinter Cell, but also a new Prince of Persia. Simply,
if we do go do Splinter Cell, as much as I like the newer ones, I do hope that it goes back to the style of the first one or Pandora Tomorrow.
Where it's actually more stealth and not just like kind of not so much stealth shooter, but just hardcore stealth.
Right, like when I first played through it, I was like too young to understand that I kept setting alarms off because I wasn't hiding bodies. That's what I liked about it.
And the reason for so much speculation actually is because, of course, recently For Honor had their event where they had the main character from Prince of Persia in there. And then even I don't remember if it was after that or right before that, they brought Sam Fisher into a Ghost Recon event, I believe.
Oh.
And then also one of the new operators in Rainbow Six Siege that is supposed to be coming out. Supposedly someone went in and read code for it, and the operator is from the same like company that Sam Fisher is from.
Who? Do you remember the name by chance?
I don't remember the name, sir.
I've never played a Splinter Cell, so me neither.
No, you've never played a Splinter Cell?
I've never played a Splinter Cell game.
They're so good. Anything else you guys want to talk about? Potentially, Snyder Cut or...
Actually, I have one more gaming news item to bring up. Biomutant has its own website now, and you can pre-order it for PC, and it's on Amazon. It says it's scheduled to release December 23rd, 2020. So sometime this year. I don't think it's actually coming out on December 31st.
That's so crazy that you found, because I haven't seen any news on it, and I know you've been waiting on that game forever. So the fact that you found that and I haven't seen anyone report on it is insane. Yeah.
So apparently the game has been pre-orderable on Amazon for a while now, because before you could pre-order it and it said December 31st, 2019, and then it got delayed indefinitely, and then it kind of just disappeared, and now it's back on Amazon for pre-order, and it says that it's scheduled to release December 31st, 2020. So sometime this year.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see. And the curious thing about that is that on the Amazon pre-order, it says that it's Biomutant PC Edition UK import.
Huh.
So I'm thinking, I don't know what's going on, but I don't know. UK import. What's wrong with the US version? Is there gonna be a US version, or do I have to legitimately have to import this damn game when it comes out?
There would have to be.
Yeah. I'm getting this game, man. That's the weekly Biomutant update, by the way. That's all.
Really last quick one I found too, just in case you guys hadn't mentioned it last week. I know you guys talked about Paper Mario, but they do have an actual web page for Paper Mario now. It's not just a store listing or anything. Gives you more info on a few of the characters, the new gimmick, I guess, the origami arms thing. So anyone interested in that is up on the Nintendo website. It has its own section.
I want to say, obviously, I haven't owned a whole lot of Nintendo systems after 64. But in terms of Mario games, this is the first one that I've seen a trailer to that has me super excited.
I know the trailer came out and I saw it, and I started realize I haven't gotten that excited for a trailer ever, except for Skyward Sword, and that was because there was also just a giant gap between that and Twilight Princess.
Yeah, the game and environment, it all looks just absolutely stunning.
But I'm ready for that one in 2 months.
Okay. Can we jump back to Biomutant for a second? Okay, I promise. I swear. Okay. So 2 days ago, we got a new release window for Biomutant. Okay, so according to Embracer Group, THQ Nordic's parent company, they revealed that the game will be released during this fiscal year, along with plenty of other titles in a recent investors call. That means that the game could drop any time between now and March 2021.
That's not as bad as the announcement for the release of Mirror's Edge Catalyst, at least.
I could see the December 3rd being a possibility, only for the fact that, judging by history of console releases, it would be after the next gen releases.
True. Holiday release. And
that would be... based off of what I've seen of that game, that looks like it'd be a banger to have for a launch title.
That'd be dope. Yeah, because it is in that cross generation territory. So, I mean, the game could be announced tomorrow. It could be released. It could be until March 2021. I don't know. We'll see. Do I trust the investor call or do I trust the Amazon listing? I just want the damn game. Just give it to me.
Best thing to do is forget about it.
Forget about it.
You just gotta wait for SpongeBob to come out first.
Oh yeah. We gotta get SpongeBob first. Keep in mind that Biomutant's original launch was supposed to be end of 2018.
Oh my gosh. I hope that when that game finally comes out that it is good and that it didn't get delayed that long just to flop.
Just to suck? Because I'll eat my own words?
But, I mean, I think it has potential to be a super great game just because there's not a whole lot of hype surrounding it. It hasn't been hyped up as much as other games.
Yeah, I'm the hype man.
Pedro's pretty fucking hype.
That's the only thing that has me worried, honestly, for Cyberpunk is everybody hyping it up. I want it to be a great game, and I'm hoping that it does not flop.
No Man's Sky 2.0.
I mean, No Man's Sky has turned it around, man. Everyone loves No Man's Sky now.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but good about it.
And everyone's
since I've heard about it recently.
Everyone's starting to love Fallout 76 now as well.
I have not heard that at all.
Ever since
I'm not saying you're lying, but I've not once heard that.
Yeah, ever since the Wastelanders update came out, like all the reviews have flipped now. Now they're mostly positive instead of mostly negative.
Yeah.
Let's just hope that doesn't set the example that it's okay to release shit as long as you pretty it up later on.
I don't think Fallout 76 will do that. I think that Anthem has potential to do that because they have assigned a small team to focus on fixing that game and making it what it was hyped up to be.
Here, you gave us a pile of poo. We gave you back a golden pile of poo.
I don't like that more studios are starting to do that because it sets a bad example, and personally, you shouldn't hype something up so much to get people to buy it if your plan is to not have it running the way you want it to for 5 years.
You shouldn't have to use the funds from your sales to fix the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we have to take into consideration the studios behind the games, right? No Man's Sky was literally like a team of 6 people.
True.
Whereas Bethesda's a little bigger than that.
And to be fair, with No Man's Sky, they never said that they would have all these at launch.
True.
Bethesda made a lot of claims and did not meet a lot of them. And then we also saw the same thing kind of happen with Battlefront 2 and their whole loot box thing when they first dropped. Now they are doing a lot better as well. But
that's a dead game now.
Yeah.
RIP.
I mean, they recently had their last update, I believe. Added BB-8.
Oh wow!
as a hero. And then the First Order version of him. I forget what that one's called.
I didn't even know such a thing existed. Must have forgot it already.
Any final words? I think I'm all newsed out.
We could talk about the hot sauce real quick.
Dude, that hot sauce is hot.
Yeah, so we'll be posting a photo on our social medias here shortly after we finish recording this podcast. But the Let's Talk About It sauce has been here for about a week already, and we held off until today to bring the hot sauce to Ruben's place and try it out. So funny story about that. We got spoons because we just wanted to try the hot sauce right on its own. And me being a klutz, I put an entire spoonful of this hot sauce.
Easily a tablespoon.
Yeah, like a big old... And as I was trying to get the sauce on the spoon, I told Ruben, I don't want to dollop a whole bunch of this on my spoon, right? And as soon as I said that, the whole spoon is just filled with hot sauce. My hand-eye was not good for that. And then Ruben, you took a little dollop of it too. And so some more information on what exactly this hot sauce is consisted of. Let me go ahead and bring up the order for this hot sauce because we had it custom made. We chose we chose the spices that went into it. The composition of the hot sauce. It's labeled with our logo. Again, there'll be pictures of this on social media, but I was expecting it to be a pretty hot sauce, right? That was expected, but at the same time, I didn't really expect it to be like a really good tasting hot sauce because of what we threw in it. So to kind of give you guys an overview of what this hot sauce consists of, so it's a Carolina Reaper base, okay, And then it's mostly consisted of chipotle for spice in there. It's got lots of habanero in the composition as well. It's got red chili and black pepper for spice, but it also has some slight undertones of some interesting things like lime zest, vanilla, and it also has a little bit of saffron in there for that that pinky raising fanciness in there. So it's actually a really good tasting hot sauce. And when I took this tablespoonful of this hot sauce, I immediately regretted it. I started hiccuping like crazy. I broke out in sweats. My nose started to drip. It's a pretty hot sauce, man. It'd actually be a really good wing sauce.
Yeah,
is what I was thinking. It would go great on a good set of chicken wings.
This would be some expensive wings.
Yeah, no kidding. But yeah, so I'm really happy with the way this hot sauce came out. We'll post a picture of it. If you guys want to buy a bottle, we do have one bottle for sale. So keep that in mind. But it's genuinely a good hot sauce, and I'm a food critic, right? I'm a foodie. So me saying that this hot sauce is pretty good and also really, really spicy, like, I mean it. And it's not just because it's our own hot sauce.
What's interesting, too, is as hot as it is, it smells really good without burning your nose.
Yeah, it does.
Like, when I smelled it, I wasn't expecting it to be as hot, because usually when you smell something that's super spicy, it will burn your nose, but this didn't.
Yeah, that's very, very true. I feel like we still have to name the hot sauce. So I think we're going to open up a poll in our social media to see what exactly... I'm still burping from the hot sauce, by the way. That was an hour and a half ago. Almost 2 hours ago, I'd say.
Jeez.
But yeah, so we'll set up a poll to see who or what we should name this hot sauce, for sure. That's all about the hot sauce. Jason, we'll have you try it sometime.
Yeah, as hell.
I'm all you
spicy shit like that.
Better have some of that some Tums ready, sir.
Yeah, no kidding. But I believe that's all we have to talk today, boys.
Yes, sir. I don't have any other final thoughts. Jason?
I'm all done over here.
Alrighty, sir. Well, if you would be so kind as to do the outro.
As always, my honor. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to episode 20 of season 2 of the Let's Talk About It podcast. We appreciate your support and your listenership/viewership if you're on YouTube. Make sure to follow us on YouTube to have our podcast viewed through there, or follow us through Spotify or Anchor FM for your preferred podcast system of choice there. But without further ado, I'll let you guys get back to it. Hopefully you are lasting through the very last bit of this quarantine and life can return to normal soon. But yeah, we'll see you guys soon. We will play the outro music. Say goodbye, guys.
Later.
Bye.
Oh, shoot.